Read about the things that happen throughout the world. Don't believe in everything you see or hear. Read all about it. Read all about it. News of the world. News of the world. Read all about it. Read all about it. News of the world. News of the world.
Hello and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Briain. Joining me this week are Desiree Burch, Ed Byrne and Glenn Moore, Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So what's going on here?
Is it 3 regular helmets and 1 massive one?
Is it Deliveroo announcing that they're now delivering gammon?
There's Boris saying, where's my takeaway? Where's my takeaway? And the other guy's saying, well, you know what it's like when you promise to deliver something and you haven't really thought through the consequences.
Is he saying, OK, who glued my Johnson to this mudguard?
No, you misheard me. I said I want to see a stunt on the motorcycle.
Is this what every biker really wants on the open road? A randy blonde with big tits who's willing to screw everyone in the country?
Did you say just rev the engine a few more times? I'm nearly there.
Saying, oh, no, you're like Pegasus and Hermes, messengers to the underworld. Saying, just give us your phone, mate.
He's probably saying, small blonde child coming, might be mine, can't be sure, can't take the risk, get me out of here.
For my next trick, I'm going to jump 50 women, and then I'm going to get on this motorcycle.
Then the actual answer?
Yes. That is Boris Johnson.
Correct. Yes. Thank you very much, Hugh. Yes, of course. This is Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson, interrupted on a recent morning jog. This week, Johnson was criticised for taking a trip to Afghanistan to avoid a crucial vote on constructing a 3rd runway at Heathrow Airport. The vote to back Heathrow expansion was passed by 415 to 119 votes. Why was Johnson criticised for being absent?
Because he had said previously that he would lie down in front of the bulldozers to stop the building of the 3rd runway.
He can't do that unless the construction goes ahead. So, of course, he's not going to vote against the construction because then he won't be able to lie down in front of the bulldozers if they're not showing up in the first place. He's merely a man of his word.
How badly do you have to want to get away from something to book a trip to Afghanistan?
It's kind of crazy, though, isn't it? In this day and age, you can't vote online, that you actually have to be there. And I'm assuming Theresa May has vetoed that because she'd never get through the I am not a robot check.
I think Heathrow need to sort out their priorities. Before they need another runway, they need another Weatherspoons. I had to queue for half an hour for my 6 a.m. breakfast lager the other week.
If there is another runway, you won't hear the local residents complain.
It got through really easily, though, didn't it? It got through by...
It did. There was a 3-line... The government put a 3-line whip on it, so that had to happen.
I had to have this explained to me, the whole thing about a 3-line whip and that he was trying to avoid a 3-line whip, which is weird because I used to work as a dominatrix and he looks exactly like the kind of guy who would pay for a 3-line whip.
They were letting something really interesting pass by.
Totally just slide it in there and let it go.
I feel that was a moment, and I should at least note the moment before we move on and then go, hang on, because it's going to be in the back of our heads going, there's got to be more in that story. Which is nothing funny has ever happened.
It does happen, and lots of funny things occur. I can't tell you any of them.
Oh, God. So you, dominatrix, and your confidentiality clause.
One of the reasons for voting against it, though, wasn't it, is because it's another example of concentrating everything in the southeast, isn't it? So they did it at the same time as that announced new developments in the north, I think. So Liverpool is getting a new bus stop. And Leeds, Bradford are getting 6 new baggage trolleys, which is great, I think.
There is something about the argument that, it's concentrating too much stuff in London. But people are trying to fly to London. Yeah. Surely you can't go, no, your flight to London actually goes to Leeds, because we think it's better for Leeds.
I I was once on a flight to London, and the pilot accidentally, as we got into Gatwick, accidentally announced that we were in Manchester, which we weren't. But I tell you, the sound of 250 people who think they have arrived at the wrong airport in unison is magnificent. It is like...
Actually, everybody just breathing it actually depressurized the plane.
Everybody so shocked. The oxygen masks dropped from the ceiling.
And presumably there's an arse clench as well.
Yeah.
I went on the simulator once at Gatwick when I was filming a sketch show, and I went on the simulator and they let me take a 747. I took off Gatwick, I pulled back too hard on the joystick, I went straight into the Ramada Hotel, and they give you a death count. I killed 1,500 people.
Beginning of that story, I really hope the word simulator.
It was, yeah.
How long ago was that, Hugh?
It was about 20 years ago.
You've had a long career, haven't you, Hugh? What was
How you got out of that fucking chair and let somebody else have a go?
Meanwhile, why is Theresa May facing a potential rebellion this week?
So Tory rebels might potentially rebel against her because they say she's underfunding the military.
Yes.
I spoke to the military yesterday and he said he's doing OK.
What military tactic, however, is the British Army considering?
They're getting inflatable tanks.
Yes, they are.
Aren't they? Which I wondered in medieval times that was the origin of the bouncy castle.
They'll be easy to spot. They'll be the ones with shoes in front of them.
It's for the last time. Take the kids off the inflatable tank.
I think they should use helium. Then everyone would think we've got flying.
Yes. It'd be so humiliating decades down the line because you'll get grandkids saying, Grandad, what did you do in the war? And it'd be like, I blew up a tank. Wow. No, as in like I blew up a tank.
And this only works if you don't go to war against a bunch of pricks.
They are the mortal enemy of inflatable tanks.
I was thinking they should use, like, inflatable soldiers as well, but they can't really use sex dolls because they always look terrified and surrendering.
Yes.
What is it about that look that makes it so sexy?
Wouldn't inflatable boats be a better idea, anyway?
Or inflatable submarines.
I think inflatable submarines would that wouldn't... I feel that'd be a bit of a giveaway. You could just claim you got a submarine. That's the thing about submarines.
Always the scientist.
Yeah.
They're meant to fool Russian satellites, aren't they? The Russians have got them, so the Russians aren't going to be fooled by them because they also have inflatable tanks.
Yes, they do.
But we haven't spotted them because we've only got inflatable satellites.
You'd also presume that if Russian intelligence comes back and goes, oh, the British have many new tanks, one of them will go, no, I saw Mock the Week.
I think if they used inflatable soldiers, it would absolutely traumatise the enemy because they'd be like, I shot a guy earlier and he just sort of...
That's the toughest thing about war. It's the look in their eyes as they quickly deflate. I mean, you never get over that. The first time you deflate a soldier from the other war and they go... Changes a man.
Couldn't they fill them with helium and then make them think we've got flying tanks? And that'd be even more frightening.
What, like she just said?
Sorry, Angela. Ed's a guy and he said it louder, so sorry.
Yeah, he'll make the edit 'cause he's got a penis.
Yeah. What I like about both of your plans, hers, is that this time if you shoot them, when you shoot one of those helium soldiers, war is hell.
I'll tell you what they could do. They could fill them with helium and then they'd have flying...
The points go to Desiree and Byrne. Now we play a round called 50 Shades of Yay. This game involves Glenn and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers will step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is journalism. Who wants to come in that? Glenn.
I always wanted to be a journalist, even when I was a kid, even when I was on my gap year, backpacking around Surrey. I remember the day I told my family I wanted to be a newsreader. I was at my nan's leaving drinks, which sounds a lot nicer than wake, doesn't it? And, I felt bad because I never really got to know her and I never really got to know my granddad because he died decades before I was born after a difficult 6-year battle with Germany. I remember my grandmother told me just before she died, she said, Glenn, it doesn't matter what you achieve in life. It doesn't matter what you achieve. As long as by the end of your life you're happy and you can afford your own bed, that's all you need. That's the last thing she told me on her death chair. I used to love being a newsreader. Before that, I was a roving reporter, and it was great fun. I got to travel the world, got to learn new languages. Before that, I couldn't really speak any other languages. I could speak some French. I could say, like, hi, my name is Glenn. I would like 2 baguettes, please, but apparently that's still English. Once I even got to be a red carpet reporter. I got to stand on the red carpet for the National Voiceover Awards. It was amazing. I got to interview the guy that had just won the award for best work in disguising a victim's voice on Crime Watch. And I remember saying to him, you must be so delighted for your award. And he said, well, there's just so many people I'd like to thank.
Very good, very good. That leaves us with Milton. Let's see what your topic is. And the topic is history.
Some things in history are good, some things are bad, some things are good, and then they get bad, like my great-great-great-uncle was bored in the trenches during the war, so he invented the high-vis jacket. That was the last thing he did. People don't really understand evolution, do they? I was talking to an Australian the other day, and he thought that he came from Darwin. Recently, I wrote a book called All the Things I've Ever Done in My Entire Life, and I don't want to spoil it, but in the end, I write a book. So, what's got 2 eyes and smokes? Pompeii. Too soon? My grandfather, he can't do what he used to, you know, bomb the Japanese. And it turns out you can't actually keep an artefact that you find with a metal detector if it's already in the British Museum.
Thank you very much. After that round, the point goes to Desiree. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Desiree, which category would you like?
Ooh, I think I'm gonna play against type and go for sport.
OK, sport it is. The answer is 6. What is the question?
Is it the number of white people that have to be in a room before I'm invited on for diversity?
Almost exactly correct, Desiree, yeah.
Is it what do New Zealand women not want to have with me?
Just New Zealand.
You're on my team.
If you gave Theresa May 3 options, what will she eventually narrow them down to?
Is it when I went swimming with dolphins, how many died in the car before we got to the baths?
Is it if I buy a packet of 6 pork pies, how many pork pies do I eat?
Is it since June 2016, how many I Love Britain mugs have they sold in the EU gift shop?
Is it the average age of an inmate in one of Donald Trump's immigration prisons? Because I made that happen? Yeah, okay.
I'd like to think they're oohing the policy rather than...
Equally satirically, is it how many of my testicles are natural?
Is it how many times a day do the Love Island contestants need to be told not to drink the sea?
Is it how many times has Prince Philip introduced himself to Meghan Markle?
Is it how many fingers you can put inside me before we're definitely dating now?
Yeah.
I totally have that rule as well.
How many days ago did Boris Becker first hear the words, Central African Republic.
Is it how many in an average family of yogurts?
I'm laughing, but now I feel horrible. Oh, click, click, there.
Is it how many times has Meghan Markle been recaptured, tranquilised, and returned to Kensington Palace?
Does anyone have the correct answer?
Before we get carried away, what is the population of Panama? It's how many goals did England score against Panama?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much. Very good.
I'm guessing it's also how many times Scotland audibly booed at the television this weekend.
Yes, the question I was looking for was how many goals did England score against Panama in the World Cup this week? This is the highest amount of goals England have ever scored in a World Cup match. We recorded the show, by the way, before England's final group game against Belgium, which you may have just watched, so the mood could be really different. But whatever the outcome, England will progress to the knockout stage.
I haven't enjoyed any of it. I don't like it. I don't trust this England squad. I don't think that they're doing anything that we're used to them doing. I don't even think Harry Kane is English. Because we need to check his passport, because firstly, he's playing well, he's scoring goals, and he can barely speak the language.
I saw some skinheads in the street singing Harry Kane, Harry Kane. They're so stupid, it came out as Harry Krishna.
My favourite thing about Gareth Southgate is the way he dresses, because he always dresses like he's at the last 20 minutes of a wedding.
Finally letting his hair down.
In the next shot, he's got the tie around his head.
Yeah. I'm not very comfortable with the whole positive attitude and everyone celebrating and boasting, because we, the English, invented modesty. Well, we can't take the whole credit, obviously.
That's a magnificent shot.
Thank you very much. New material.
Are you generally enjoying it as a celebration of the globe?
I don't understand. Like, football fans love a drink, don't they? Like, and I don't really understand. If you love football so much, why do you have to get pissed? Like, I just get pissed to do things make things bearable, you know, like ironing or blowjobs. I don't...
Isn't there some statistic about it? There's been a 97% rise in the sale of beer fridges.
Or as I call them, fridges.
The best, although because these stats are always given about the rise in sale of this, the rise in sale of that. Like when they said they will sell 60 million bags of crisps, and you go, wow, and then you go, wait a minute, that's one bag of crisps each. This is the word. There's your bag of crisps. Now you're going to eat it all in the first round, or you're going to wait till the semi-finals. When are you going to have your bag of crisps? Oh, I've got a special occasion. Have you watched the controversy about VAR?
Yeah.
VAR, yeah.
I love VAR, though.
Yeah.
I think they should do more. You know when they do that, don't they?
Yeah.
He should do charades for the whole thing. Cool. Yes. Television show. It's a booking.
Where are you going then? A footballer doesn't know what that is.
To be honest, they're having difficulty enough. I mean, God love Alan Shearer, who got very angry about VAR the other day. Oh, he got very angry. To the extent that I think he thinks VAR is a person. And that VAR sits in a room going, VAR not happy!
New development.
It is, but it's a new development in football. It's in many other sports. They've been doing.
Do they have it in women's football?
I'd imagine the next women's football World Cup is next year.
You know, if I know anything about football cameramen, they're not going to be trained to that camera on their feet, are they?
I've seen women on football match. It isn't just booty. Racing after athletic young women. Yeah. To credit to cameramen, they do actually pull out every so often. Oh, sorry, that sounds wrong.
Credit where credit is due.
Yeah. OK, moving on. How is the UK preparing for President Trump's state visit next month?
Cyanide party.
What I think we should do is just, when he's coming, just all hide behind the settee like it's a Jehovah's Witness at the door.
The most worrying thing is he's going to meet the Queen, and surely by proxy Prince Philip as well. And that's not going to sit well with Prince Philip, because he doesn't really deal well with people who don't have the same colour skin as him.
No, I think it'll be great for Prince Philip, because he'll be able to leave that meeting going, wow, that guy was a racist.
You know what the British Sign Language for Donald Trump is? You know, it's that. sign language. I didn't know this. I had a sign language interpreter at one of my shows, and that turned out... She would just steal the show. Every time you mentioned Trump, and she'd just do this. Because, you know, deaf people do not dick around when they're naming stuff.
That's insulting to cockatoos, though.
What I love about it, though, is because people are protesting about the fact that, you know, Trump is coming and he shouldn't come because he's too right-wing. I think it's a great idea, so long as we make sure there is a sign language interpreter on stage every event he does. We make sure every question has the word Trump in it as many times as possible, and we just see how long it takes it to die.
This is a...
I do feel sorry for Americans at the moment. I do, because you're being represented on the global stage by a moron, and I know what that's like. It's like when my dad used to go to my parents' evenings.
We do need to get closer to America, because we don't know what they're going to do with their defence spending. I mean, we say to NATO...
In other news... What measures are the government proposing to tackle obesity?
It's about childhood obesity, isn't it?
It is about childhood obesity.
Yeah. I think what they're going to do is to try and cut down on the level of childhood obesity is they're going to say that as soon as you reach 10 stone, you're officially an adult. And that, boom, that will have childhood obesity overnight.
Okay.
Not a child. I've waited. It's a grown-up.
But instructions to process food are complicated. I bought a lasagna the other day. It said, remove cardboard sleeve and film. Most boring movie I ever made.
I feel like, okay, you do sort of need to know what... there's a general caloric intake that everybody gets and whatnot, but I feel like there's the one that I get, and then there's certain people where I'm kind of like, you know, Ed, have an extra Frappuccino. Like, you really are, you know, have a sandwich. I'm just saying, like, it might be... You'd be funner thicker, I'm just saying.
Many have said that I'm as thick as they want me to be.
No, Ed, you're the skinny man at the edge of the forest in Children's Nightmares.
I'm someone who... I've battled with my weight a lot. I've recently lost 3 stone, which, if we were in America, would have got a round of applause, but no. No, it's a Labrador. No, fuck you. But let me tell you, Dara, losing weight in your 40s, things do not bounce back to where they were. They don't. I never thought I'd be able to fold a breast.
Hospital corners.
Oh, yeah. I can now give a tit wank from the side.
It's sold!
Give that round of applause to Milton, Hugh and Angela. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first topic is unlikely movie trailers.
Stay at Chigwell Holiday Inn. Essex Plumbers for all your plumbing needs. Visit our beautiful forest. 3 billboards outside Epping.
Autocorrect the movie. Out knob in a cinnamon near Yule.
Coming soon, a man in a loincloth who lives on top of a Christmas cake. Tarzapan.
Coming soon to an illegal streaming site near you, Jurassic.Park HD Cam Japanese subtitles.mp4.
Coming soon, the harrowing tale of women standing up to harassment through illegal street racing in Me Too Fast, Me Too Furious.
Train spotting 2. We spotted 2 trains.
This summer, Captain America, Hulk, and Iron Man sing Kumbaya, while Thor shows you his new hammer in Avengers Assembly.
This cinematic remake of Swan Lake is so powerful that it broke a man's arm.
Coming this summer, the sequel to La La Land. Poland.
Jesse Eisenberg is Mark Zuckerberg in the social network too. This time it's personal data.
She was a Hollywood actress in a sordid version of Snog, Marry, Avoid. Winona Ryder, win, own or ride her.
A Welsh thriller. The Dragon with the Girl Tattoo.
Coming soon, a man who's been announcing it for the past 3 minutes. Just do it already.
Coming this holiday season, the bug-eyed guy with the clarinet in the cantina in the first film. A Star Wars story.
Tonight, see 6 people working their arses off, while 1 man just sits in a chair.
The following movie contains scenes of a cup of tea. It's rated PG.
I thought you said you couldn't drive. I never said I couldn't drive. I just said up until very recently, I wasn't allowed. Fast and Furious 9, Saudi Arabia drift.
OK, next topic is... things you wouldn't hear on a cookery show.
You can, of course, make your own pasta if you've got too much time on your hands, you pretentious prick.
Well, while we're waiting for the rice to cook, that'll take another 5 or 6 minutes. I'm going for a poo.
So I used to be one of those chefs that shouts and swears a lot, but then I discovered oven gloves.
Today, I'm using a Smeg fridge, which is just like a normal fridge that I don't clean regularly enough.
If you're having trouble whipping them up into stiff peaks, have you tried gently cupping their balls?
Oh, and welcome to Cooking After You've Come Home Pissed. Tonight we're doing a cup of soup that's slightly gone past its best before date. It tastes a bit better if you put some HP sauce in it.
Now, try not to drizzle too much oil on the lamb or it will wriggle free and escape.
I don't know about you, but I really love upside-down pineapple cake, or as Australians call it, pineapple cake. Or as Australian pineapples call it, the cake of death.
Well, I enjoyed this meal so much when I had it in a Parisian restaurant that I asked the chef what it was called. So this is my own version of fuck off English.
These ginger nuts are soft and chewy, and I can't stop going back for more. And the rest of the honeymoon is pretty good too. Love, Megan.
Mary Berry is quite critical of this soggy bottom, but to be fair, in this kind of heat, it's kind of unavoidable.
Welcome to another edition of Cooking with Pins! So this one, you just stick it in the oven, turn up to 190, have a nap. When the smoke alarm goes off, it's done!
Well, you may be wondering, what is the perfect accompaniment to a Scotch egg? Simple. Scotch sperm.
Now, my wife absolutely loves street food, but that's probably because I married a pigeon.
Now, normally for this recipe, I like to use pork lardons, but my producer doesn't listen, so I spent the entire morning making some pigs very happy.
So today, I'm going to be making banana wine, and I'm going to be pressing the skins with my bare feet.
This week, we're going to be tackling that very difficult dish, which is the potato waffle that fell out of the packet months ago and has been stuck in the ice. First thing we need is a very sharp knife.
Hello, I'm Nigella Lawson, and welcome to the non-innuendo cookery hour, where we'll be teaching you how to cook, dick, wank.
Okay, give that round of applause for Desiree Burch. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Desiree Burch, Byrne and Glenn Moore. Commiserations to Milton Jones, Hugh and Angela Byrne. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara. Good night.
Want more comedy? Well, there's plenty available right now from BBC Three on BBC iPlayer. Check out Live from the BBC with Scottish stand-up Fern Brady.